Always great catching up with my next guest. Curtis Millender is going to be back in action for Bellator coming up here on August 7th. He's taking on Sabah Homasi. Curtis, how are you, man?
I'm great, sir. How are you doing?
I'm doing great. It's good to see you get another fight booked here. Is there a bit of a weight lifted off your shoulders just having the next fight booked in there, just with everything going on with COVID?
Oh, yeah. I was originally supposed to fight, I believe, May 29th. So, I mean, it's not too far off, but, the whole switching of the fights and not having it right away definitely can be a little stressful.
And are you glad you got the fight rebooked? Because I know sometimes when you have a fight booked initially, there can always be some logistics and stuff. Was this the matchup you always wanted?
No, this was actually a whole new matchup. I had never even thought about this. And originally, May, I was supposed to have Joe Schilling.
Oh, interesting.
And then Friday night, I was supposed to have, what's the guy's name? Johnson out of AKA. Fought on the Contender Series last year, and he's the one that he finished Joe in his last fight. So, but I like this matchup. This is going to be a fun one.
Yeah, and a fellow UFC vet as well, so it's kind of a notable guy as far as who you're fighting. So one of the things I wanted to ask you about this fight, because I remember last time we spoke, I know you'd gone back to Bellator, but I don't know if it was an actual multi-fight deal. Are you now locked in with them, or is this just a one-fight deal like the last one?
No, the last one was one with an option, so this is them exercising their option. So Rich Chow was been very good to me, and I'm happy he gave me this opportunity to get this fight. If I would have had to, fight back on the local circuit, definitely would have been, the compensation wouldn't have been as much. So I'm very, very fortunate to get this one.
And then I was going to say the other thing that's happened since last time you and I talked is I know you got new management. You're through Iridium Sports. How did that all come together?
It's crazy. Jason House was probably the first, really the only manager, the first manager I ever met with. And this was, I believe, my first or second pro fight in, and ended up going another route and then taking another route. But we always stay in touch. We always stay close. So, I'm at that tail end. So I had to make some big moves for the end of the second half of my career. And he was the man for the job. So, very, very, very excited that we finally actually get to work together now.
Yeah, it's great to see. Now, did they negotiate this fight, or was that already negotiated before? Because you said you had the date in May, right? So
yeah, it was already the work was already pretty much done. But they definitely have been looking out for me and doing a lot of things since the fight has been booked. So.
Excellent. And how challenging has this been sort of financially? This is something we talked about last time, but obviously with COVID, there was a lot of uncertainty how you're going to, sort of pay the bills and everything. So how have things been from that standpoint heading into this fight?
It's been okay. I got little things that I do here and there in between, so to keep me afloat. But it definitely would be a whole lot better if I was actually fighting and making bringing in the big bucks. But we've been making it through.
Good. Okay. Well, that's good to hear. And then the other thing, obviously, is training. I know being in California, they're really strict on obviously all the the lockdown and things like that with COVID-19. So what's training looking like now, and how was it initially? Because I know a lot of the gyms were closed.
I know. So I train at a private gym. I know most of the private gyms stayed open. We were being cautious at first. The first probably month or two, I would only work out with my coach and probably one or two teammates. I would do my strength and conditioning on my own. I lifted a lot of weights, something I've always been kind of against, but I had been lifting weights since I had the time on my hand. And we kind of got back into the full swing of things, bringing everybody back in probably about a month or two ago. So, training is still good. I haven't missed a beat. I'm still getting the rounds in, still getting the quality work in. So, two of my main guys are fighting this weekend or this Friday. So, we've all been, getting ready, trying to stay in shape. You never know when you're going to get a call in.
How do you feel like you match up against Homasi in this fight? I'm sure you had time to sort of assess him as an opponent.
This one's gonna be fun, man. But you know me. I'm always training for war, always preparing for war. But I'm preparing I'm going in with the mindset to slaughter him. I'm prepared for war, but I'm going to take him out quick.
And you talked a bit about training camp there. You mentioned your teammates are fighting. So who have you been working with as far as training partners?
Jacob Rosales, Jackie Gosh are two of my main guys. Christian Gonzalez as well. So, but we got Jacob fighting for the LFA title this week, and then Jackie, he got a last minute replacement fight for this Friday too. So, and both guys are always in shape whether they're fighting or not. So.
Good stuff. Awesome. And I imagine the weight cut's going well. Even during COVID, I know it's tough sometimes to get the food you want.
It's okay. I this time, if I was gonna fight this past Friday, I was gonna fight at 85, and with the switch now I'm going down to 75. So I gotta get the mind right to get the other 10 off, but I can do it. I've done it. I fight at 70 normally, so it's not a big deal.
So this is the catch weight of 175 by the sounds of it?
Yes, sir.
Excellent. Okay, well, that's good. I mean, you guys will be at your best, right? You're not cutting that extra weight, so that's always pretty exciting. Who's going to be in the cage with you that night as far as your cornerman?
I'm only going to have Ben Jones. My striking coach, Uchenna Anyakam, unfortunately, he's not going to be able to make the trip. Taking the COVID situation very, very, very serious. So I haven't really been able to work with him in person, but he breaks down fights. He tells me things to work on, and me and him are in tune. We've been working with each other for 10 years now, so we're in tune.
How do you see the fight playing out on August 7th? Homasi's been knocked out. I know you're dying to get a finish in there, as far as your last couple of performances. Is that how you see it playing out, as a potential knockout in this one?
A knockout, but I think I want to try to chase a submission this time.
Oh, awesome.
I got a little taste with the last fight. I threw some takedowns in there and trying to show everybody that I can do more than just strike. So we'll see. It can be a surprise. I feel like this fight I can do whatever I want to him. He's not going to be fast enough, not going to be strong enough. So I pick what I want.
Do you feel like you're kind of the dark horse of this division? I know it's not a lock that you're going to be back with Bellator after this fight, but just with your credentials, the run you went on in the UFC, I mean, welterweight's always been an exciting division for Bellator, but just with what you bring to the table and your experience, do you feel like you're the guy that maybe people got to be keeping an eye out for?
Yeah, I know I'm definitely can be in the mix in the top of 170 for Bellator, but my first run in Bellator, a lot of people can say that I wasn't ready yet. I hadn't really experienced any like hardships, and when it comes to fights, I pretty much had not easy opponents, but I had pretty, all my fights were pretty dominant, not really tested that much. And then when I got there, it was something a little different. So, but yeah, this time the confidence, the skill set, everything is up there now.
And when we spoke last time, I know you said, you'll just take it fight to fight. I guess, is there a possibility if you get a win here, you could potentially go back to the UFC, or what is it just sort of what the best offer is after this fight, assuming all goes well?
Yeah. At this point in my career, my services are to the highest bidder. So I got kids to feed. So
okay. Understandable for sure. You still watching pro wrestling in between everything? Because I know they're at least still doing some shows with all this other stuff being shut down.
Am I not?
I figured you would be, but I know you got the fight coming up. You got camp. Sometimes especially during these times, I know other stuff sort of occupies your time. But how's all that going?
I'm still watching it. Still diehard fan. That's actually the one thing that's kind of kept helping things stay normal. That's the one thing that didn't really change. I'm enjoying it right now. I'm enjoying the Street Profits. I love that Drew McIntyre finally has the belt. Bray Wyatt is taking over as my favorite. So it's a lot of fun things happening right now.
Have you seen that Dark Side of the Ring documentary series that came out? I know that because it was made in Canada, and I don't know if you got to see it in the States, but it's been really good.
We get it here.
Yeah, what did you think?
Here on Vice. I love it. It's like definitely one of my favorite shows right now.
Is there one that stands out to you as far as some of the episodes? Because there are like 2 seasons in the book now.
The Chris Benoit.
Oh, wasn't that crazy?
Those are the 2 top ones for me, because those are like I was big fans of those 2 guys growing up when I was a kid. So those are rough to watch.
Yeah, no, it was. And I'm glad they gave the attention and the detail they needed to doing it. It's obviously a difficult subject to get through, but it was good to sort of make sure that they covered sort of every angle of that. Who's someone, as a wrestling fan, who would you like to see them cover next time? Like as far as like a series or something that wasn't unfolded? I think China would be kind of interesting just to see her, sort of rise and fall in her life, and obviously tragically passing away years ago.
Yeah, definitely China. I would love to see, we were just talking about this. Feel like they can do some pretty good stuff with the Warrior, Ultimate Warrior. It's a lot. It's a lot of stuff out there.
Another one too, I'll kind of throw out there is, Scott Hall. I'd like to see them kind of dig into, obviously the struggles he had with alcoholism, and now it seems like he's good now. At least the last time I checked, because I know he was doing the DDP yoga and all that. So yeah, exactly. Yeah. So it'd be kind of neat to see these guys, go through a rough time and then see sort of them coming out on the other side. But there's so much there. Like I love like going back and watching all that stuff. I don't watch a ton of pro wrestling now, but to go back and see the history, like that brawl for all they did, and what was it, 98 with WWF? I completely forgot about that.
Yeah, I actually went back and watched a couple of them. So I forgot all about that. That was one that was really good too.
Yeah, that was really awesome. Curtis, really appreciate the time, man. Really looking forward to this fight. It's coming up here August 7th. It is Bellator 243. Anyone you want to thank, any sponsors, any social media, the floor is yours.
GR Wheels and Tires. Who else we got? JP23, downtown Fullerton. We also have everybody over at Iridium, Cal Attorneys, Keck Sluggers, everybody, all my sponsors. If you ever give me a ride to the gym, if you ever help me do anything to do with this fight thing, I want to sponsor. I want to thank you. You guys are awesome.